This shit out. How much do you think it costs today? Ready for this? And keep in mind, I just paid $33 or something like that for this same exact can of formula 2 days ago. And if we want to rewind, just a couple months ago, this same exact can was 20 something dollars. Look at the price of it today. It is $35.48 for the same freaking can. For generic, if you look down here, the comparable, the Similac is $35.98 for the name brand. Make that make sense. Look at that. And the Similac is all gone, of course, because like, why would you buy a generic when you can get the name brand for only a couple cents more? And this is the kind that my special needs baby needs. So like regular formula, $28.98 for the generic on this one. I feel terrible for all the moms who need Similac 360. Look at the prices on that one. A Gerber, shame on you. And if you have a special needs baby like I do, and I have tummy issues, I feel bad for anybody who needs the Nutramigen. Look at that one. I mean, I would expect the high prices from like the major companies and corporations, but HEB, totally, I depended on you guys to provide affordable formula, and now that you are basically matching the name brand, shame on you. I knew this was going to happen. Like I said this like a couple weeks ago.
You know what's free? Breast milk. I don't know why a lot more women don't breastfeed. Breastfeeding is actually the best thing you can do for the baby. You wouldn't be worried about prices for Similac or anything if you breastfed. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I think breastfeeding your kids is the best thing you should do. Yes, I'm a man, right? Oh, you don't understand. I feel like, oh, they won't latch on in the beginning. I've been through it with both of my kids, with my wife, right? They won't latch in the beginning, but they will. I feel like a lot of women don't breastfeed because they don't have the patience in the beginning. Oh, and they won't latch. Make them latch or they won't eat. And the thing about babies, they figure it out. Okay, but the reason why Similac is going up, these prices going up, because they know you need it. They know that you don't have the patience enough to feed your own baby from your own body. So what's free is breast milk. So people are complaining about prices, about Similac and all of that. Yeah, I'll raise the price too if I know you need it. I know you need it. I know you are impatient. You know what's crazy when you look at the world, you look at everything. People make a lot of money off of people being impatient. So if you're being impatient, you want me to have my Similac for $20 just so it's cool for you because you're impatient? Well, you could have just been patient and just said, you know what? Let me make sure my kid latches on. You know, she said she has a special needs child, praying for that child. But you know what's crazy? Breast milk can heal stuff like that because it's the things that's coming from your body going to the baby. So I don't understand why women don't breastfeed. I feel like that should be like a law. You should breastfeed at least the first 1 to 2 years. Michael Jordan was breastfed. I saw something from Michael Jordan. He was breastfed until he was 4. Some kids are breastfed until they're like 6 or 7, but it's good for the kid. It's really on how long the mom can take it, but I at least feel like you should at least be able to breastfeed for at least the first year or two. You know, we breastfed both of my daughters, which was great. That's why they're healthy. That's why they don't have a whole lot of diseases. They don't get sick. It's because they're getting all the good stuff from mom. But what it is moms in the beginning, what happens is, because, you know, we've seen it, the kids don't latch on, you get frustrated, you feel bad, so now you get them a bottle because it's easy. But I'm telling you, as a husband, the easiest thing is having the kid roll over and getting a nip. I loved it. So imagine being a husband and your wife has to get bottles and you got to make bottles in the middle of the night. Never experienced that, never had to. I'm glad I didn't. It's because breastfeeding is the best thing for kids. You know, but as a mother, you have to understand, and I know it's not easy being a mother, having kids. I know it's not easy, but it's one of those things. Being a mother is a selfless job. You have to put your kids first. You know, and that's why women were made to be the mothers, because men can't do that. So I'm giving the props to the women, but the thing is about the women, you have to know and understand what you have in that breast milk is liquid gold. This is why God made you and gave you the ability to feed your kids through breast milk. But, you know, people crying about the prices for Similac and all of that. If you breastfeed, you don't have to worry about that. We didn't have to worry about food for our kids because they breastfed. You know, and that's the reason why they're healthy. That's the reason why they're strong. That's why every time they go to the doctor's like, what are y'all doing? We breastfed our kids. We got all the natural antibodies, all the natural, what is it, probiotics, prebiotics, whatever. It came from the mom, came from my wife. So as a woman, if you think about having a kids, I really feel that you should breastfeed. It's for the kid. God gave you the ability to feed your kid. Why? Because that's the best option for your kid. The stuff you're getting from the store is man-made. It's man-made. So why would you want to have that and put that into your child? I'll give you a story. My youngest child, she was born. We had a doctor's appointment, and this is the reason why we know if you look at it, Similac, the healthcare industry, they all work together, right? So we went to the doctor, the what is it called, pediatric doctor for our youngest daughter, and they were like, "Oh, she's healthy." They said, okay, cool. We got to take a couple of tests. I was like, "Okay." Parents always ask, "What is this test for?" She had about 3 or 4 tests that they wanted to take that day, and they said, "Oh, we have to take this test because if Similac and everything, it could cause some type of disease. I forgot the name of it, so we have to test for it." So the doctors are testing us, testing my daughter for this disease, if for something from Similac, something that if you do Similac, you get a disease, or it just happens with that type of milk because it's not real. It's foreign milk. So we told the doctor, "Well, we don't need to take that test." "Well, what do you mean?" "Well, because we breastfeed, and then after we breastfed my youngest, we put her on plant milk." We put her on plant milk. She never even had real milk until later in life. So what I want to tell you about that is this is how the healthcare industry works. They still made us take the test because they make money. The doctor's like, "Well, you still need to take it just in case. We believe you, but they still made us take it just so they can get a piece of our money, just so they can charge us." So that tells you right there that they're giving us a test that's going to make sure we don't have a certain disease or a certain issue because it's caused by having Similac. So if you got to take a test to see if it causes that, do you think you should give your kid Similac? Do you think you should give your kid man-made things? The smartest thing we did was we breastfed. My wife got tired. I think it's after a couple years. She got tired. Cool. You did it for a couple years. Great. And then we said, we're not going to do milk. We're not going to do Similac. What we're going to do is we're going to do plant milk. At that time, they had a plant milk brand out. It was like pure plant milk, and it was great. Put a little bit of honey, or not a little bit of honey, a little bit of syrup. That's what you did. A little bit of maple syrup, sweet. My youngest loved it. That's the reason why she's a fruitarian, a vegetarian now. She can eat a whole fruit plate, a whole veggie plate, just because we made a decision while she was young to not put her on milk or any of that man-made stuff, and we gave her plant milk. So as a parent, especially as a wife, as a mother, think of your child. Yes, breastfeeding is not easy in the beginning, but they latch on, it'll work, you'll produce. Only way you'll produce if your baby is latching. "I don't have any milk." It's because your baby didn't latch. It's because your baby ain't going. The baby's going to help you produce. And it's crazy that I know so much about this, but this is how in tune I was with my wife and my kids. So I'm telling you, you wouldn't be worrying about the Similac process if you just breastfed your child, especially special needs. They definitely need the source and the stuff from you because that can help with your child's special needs problem. The sensitive stomach and stuff like that, you don't have issues like that from breastfeeding. So I'm just challenging all the women from here on out that hear this message. Look, be more selfless when you have kids. Understand that you have to be selfless, and always breastfeed your kids. Breastfeed your kids. Do it. I'm telling you, I'm a big advocate for it. I may be a man, but I see what the effect it has on my kids, and it's great. But if you're worried about Similac prices, it's because you were impatient in the beginning and didn't want to breastfeed your child. So all the future moms out there, you think about becoming a mom, this is coming from a man that's telling you, I don't know everything about women. I just know that when you have your child, make sure you breastfeed. That's all I got to say.